Discover Church, it's Pastor John. I'm here for our midweek devotional thought. And, I want to share a verse for us today that might be fairly familiar. I don't know about you, but sometimes the more familiar a verse is, the quicker I have a tendency to just kind of read over it and go, yeah, I already know that, I got that. But the other day, I was doing a devotional of my own, and I came across this verse from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. It's verse 18, and it simply says this. It says, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ Jesus." I don't know about you, but when I hear "give thanks in all circumstances," that just kind of hits me square in the face like a ton of bricks. I think over this last year in particular, to say that this last year has been a crazy year feels a little bit like a major understatement. And I'll speak for myself, but I'm guessing I'm not alone. When in our lives, when circumstances change, or when fears can flood in, or when uncertain realities kind of continue to present themselves, and this last year's kind of been a domino effect of one thing after another, I know in those moments I sometimes lose sight of the many reasons that I have every day to give thanks to God and to offer God my thanksgiving in all circumstances. But think about it, thankfulness. We think we know what it's about. We think that we're pretty good at it, but I think it goes so much deeper than we often give it time for in our lives. I think over the last year, again, how many times did you see the word thanking or thankfulness taking the news headlines? We didn't see that word quite as often this last year as maybe we would in past years. Or when was the last time that you really allowed your thoughts to just be consumed by the many reasons that you have to give God your thanksgiving? For some of us, maybe that's more than others, but for me, as I think about that, my answer is simple. It's not enough. It's not enough. So I know that this week I've been really trying to reflect and meditate on the many reasons and the many thankful realities that we have in our lives, that I have in my life. And as I've been doing that, I know and have discovered that it really is just what my soul has needed to kind of realign my thoughts, my perspectives, my attitudes, and even my actions with the will of God. And if nothing else, the thankfulness has reminded me of God's constant presence and the reality of God's promises for our lives as we are attempting to live our lives in mission for Christ. What else could we ask for than the promise and the presence of God? So I encourage you all this week to join me and consider and ponder, what can you thank God for in your lives today? I challenge you to make that list as extensive as you can. And as you do that, maybe ask your friends, your family, your neighbors the same questions, and be sure to take some time to share your thankfulness with one another. So I'm curious to hear from some of you what God reveals to your hearts. But until next time, I hope you all have a very thankful week.